So let's talk about the things they're going through. All right, you remember being an adolescent, right? But, oh, guess what? When is adolescence? What's the span of adolescence?
Like
Right.
middle school or early 20s.
Yes, mid-20s. Raise your hand if you were still below your mid-20s. You're still in adolescence. How weird is that? Do you think of yourself as an adolescent?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know everything.
All right. I don't either. I've been out of adolescence for a while. Your cognitive function, your emotional function, your ability to process is not developed yet. Your voice is not developed yet. Okay, so you're dealing with people from the very beginning of this process. Is the adolescent experience unique to each person, or is it pretty much the same? Maybe all boys or maybe all girls. Is it unique or is it the same? Unique. Every single person is unique. Holy crap. All right. What did the author say about the adolescent perspective and their emotions in the article that you read that I sent via email? Perspective. Do they have clear perspective?
What?
The email that was sent out with an article about teaching adolescents.
It's on their course document.
Okay, I didn't get an email about it.
We'll talk through it. Perspective. Do they have perspective? Clear? What is it like?
Well, like their prefrontal cortex isn't developed, so they're not really thinking into the future and thinking about consequences for actions.
Exactly. Their perspective is unpredictable. It's irrational. What about their emotions? Stable?
They're already labeled as being kind of like the troubled generation because I know in the article that this person went into a bookstore and they see babies as cute as they can be with their parents and they're just so happy, and then you have adolescents that have the attitude. So they already have the label of just being, okay, well, you're not going to understand what you're going through. We're not going to take the time because we don't have the patience to actually fully tell you what's going on with
We're
yourself.
going to also talk about that. I'm so glad you brought it up. So yeah, they're going through so much. So emotions, are they consistent?
No.
Do they fluctuate?
Yes.
Do they run high?
Yes.
Can they be on a high and a low in the same 2 minutes?
Yes.
Yes. It's crazy difficult to deal with. Should the music teacher try to control an adolescent? Why not? Is it possible?
It's only when it calls rebellion.
I mean, when you say control an adolescent, it reminds me of like your dog, like a pet. Like you would control your pet.
Are they dogs?
No.
Are they pets?
No.
No.
They're humans.
You need to embrace them for where they are and who they are. You need to be a safe person for them because they may not have it at their house. They may not have a stable adult figure in their life. That might be you. And in many cases it is. I've been that person for a lot of kids. And I usually migrated to those that needed the most help, you know. So when you see an emotional breakdown or you see a kid just really struggling, you don't necessarily feed into that, but you can say things like,
I'm sorry that you're feeling that way.
exactly, that's exactly what the author said. Good. All right, so say things, I'm so sorry you're feeling this way. It's not necessarily a personal thing against you. It is all the stuff they're going through. Their emotions aren't personal. Be very careful how you react because you need to make sure you stop and give them a moment of grace. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't react in a way that you'll regret. How many times have I looked back on something I've said to a kid and I'm like, oh. I kicked a kid out of a classroom once as a visitor. He was absolutely obnoxious, terrible behavior. I kicked him out of the room. Later find out he's from the projects. He has no stable parent. He has he has a bad, hard life. In trouble a lot. I should have had more sympathy and done that differently. You're going to have those moments, but try to do your best to connect with your students. So physical changes. Yeah, this gets a little uncomfortable. Physical changes, what's going on?
Can I ask a question about the emotional suffering?
Sure.
Where do you draw the line of sympathy and discipline? That's what I struggle with. because I am very empathetic towards people, but I don't want, see, that kid, you need to have empathy for him because he is going through a lot, but if he's so disruptive, you can't get anything done in your class.
I
that
have
you
the
do.
perfect answer for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
There are two types of behaviors. Two. One of them is a childlike behavior that can be endured. The other kind, it's a direct, defiant behavior that needs to be disciplined. So two types of behaviors. Case in point, little 18-month-old kid is in the house. Dad's painting walls. He puts the brush down to go deal with a phone call. Kid goes and gets the paintbrush and starts helping Daddy. And he paints the doors and the handles and the light fixtures and the cabinets. All while Dad's gone, comes back. Does that kid deserve to be punished?
No.
Innocent, childlike behavior, simply trying to help, maybe even trying to play, but does not understand what he did was wrong. So you do not punish that behavior. No, honey, that is not what we do. Let's go do something different. It was his fault. He left the child unattended. You don't punish the kid for that.
And then you need to explain
Exactly.
why
You
it's
teach
not.
them
Yes.
why that was not okay. But they don't understand that yet.
That's where the mercy comes in.
Correct.
Okay, got
Direct, defiant behavior. Put your cell phone away. We're in class.
it.
Deserves discipline. That's when you take over and you do not allow that behavior. Does that make sense? Awesome. Let's say that you have two middle schoolers in your room and they were best friends and now they're in conflict. They're sitting together. That's an emotional issue and they're not really capable yet necessarily with cognitive functions and emotions to know how to handle that. They may be having their own little issue in the corner, but does that mean that they're truly being defiant? If they're trying to participate but they have this little issue, so do they deserve to be punished?
No, it'll make the situation worse.
Correct. So you teach them how to relate. You teach them how to have a conversation. You separate them, move them to another seat. You don't address the whole class about that. You see them after class. Make them a part of the solution. Hey, what can we do together to make this work? So those behaviors don't need to be disciplined, they need to be taught.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah. Cool.
all right, so physical changes. What are they going through?
Their voices are changing.
Voices are changing, so they're gonna sound a little different. Go.
Growing pains.
Growing pains, literally 3 inches in a year, some kids growing. I mean, that's a lot, okay? Some faster than others, because they're all at a different rate, experiencing it differently. You're gonna have some freshman boys that are still unchanged voices and small, while you got girls that tower them twice as much, all right? They're going through those changes that are of growth. Okay, what else?
I thought it was interesting because I'd never thought about it. It makes it sound like that, but your vocal cord, they physically grow.
Yes.
And I didn't think,
Yes.
I knew, I was like, okay, your voice changes, but I'd never put together it's because you're physically growing, so
Right.
everything is growing.
Everything is changing, all the whole self. So sitting still for a long period of time, is that helpful for them? No, it's actually quite painful. Realizing that all this is going on for them too. Well, what's happening to the laryngeal muscles stuff, all that stuff that's holding them together? Are they strong? No, they're weakened as a result. So therefore, folds aren't making that connection and they're gonna sound breathy. So middle school choirs generally have a breathy, husky kind of sound. So you need to be aware of that. You can't fix it because they can't physically do it yet. Some people will, some people won't. You're gonna hear that. Don't panic. Work with them through it. What other kind of changes?